Today we're going to do a baked round steak, kind of like Mama used to make. And hopefully when we're done here, it'll be nice and tender. So what I've got here, normally when you go to the grocery store, at least what I remember, you could buy a nice big round steak, about 3 pounds or so. And I've been having trouble finding it, so especially a thicker one. So what I've done here, as you can see on the beginning photos, I've got about 1 pound round steaks, and well, like 1/2 inch thick maybe. And as you will see at the end of this video, we tried this recipe earlier, and I had the steak way too thin when I bought it, and it didn't turn out real well, but it has kind of a funny ending, so I'll put it on my outtakes. So what we're going to do here, I've got a cup of flour, and I put in some ground pepper and 1/2 of an envelope of onion soup mix. And they also sprinkled in a little bit of just some dried chopped onions. So we've got 3 tablespoons of oil here that looks like it's pretty hot. I'm going to take my round steak, which I have tenderized, and put a fork through it to get that tenderizer in there. And I've got it wet a little bit of water so that some flour will stick to it. So we put this in get a good coating on it, and we'll drop it in this oil. So be careful, it's going to be hot and probably splatter. So what I'm going to do also, I'm going to sprinkle in just some of these dried onions. They're going to burn pretty fast, but it adds a good flavor, and those little burnt bits will make really good gravy. So all I'm going to do is brown these here a little bit. Yeah, see it, onion browning up good. This is just going to be like a couple minutes on each side. Yeah. All right, so we see we got it brown, a little bit of that flour coating on there, and the onions are cooked really nice. So we're going to just set this in a baking dish. And like I said, on the round steak, you want to get like 1 to 3 pounds. I'm going to make enough gravy here to probably do at least 2 pounds, although I only have 1 pound of round steak right there. Okay, so now with what's left, we're going to leave all this in here. I'm going to scrape in. I'm not going to put in all the flour, most of it. I might add a little bit more oil. Just so we can stir and get a nice smooth texture of gravy base. So now we're just going to add a little bit of water at a time. And turn the heat down to medium. And keep adding water till you get a nice gravy consistency. Okay, so we've got the gravy at a good consistency that we want. You can salt and pepper to taste. I put quite a bit of water in there, so I'm going to put a lot of salt. Pepper. I like a lot of pepper. Now what I like to do for gravy to give it a nice dark brown color is use this kitchen bouquet. It says browning and seasoning. It's basically made of a lot of different vegetables, so it also adds a nice flavor. I'm going to add about a teaspoon. Okay, so we've got all this stirred in, the gravy's finished. So now what we're going to do is pour this gravy on top of the round steak. So while we bake the round steak, it'll keep it nice and moist. What I'm going to do is pick up each one of these just to make sure there's gravy gets underneath it so it doesn't stick. Okay, so I'm going to cover with foil so all that moisture stays inside. I've got my oven preheated to 325 Fahrenheit. I'm going to pop this in here on the middle oven rack. So we're going to let that bake covered in the oven for about 2 hours. 2 hours is up, so let's take a look and see what we have. If you do, go ahead, if you're going to bake the 3 pounds of round steak, you may want to leave it in there 2.5 to maybe 3 hours. That looks good. So let's taste this and see. Hopefully it'll be nice and tender. Hopefully it'll be so tender we don't need a knife. Yeah, look at that.
Hot.
Yeah, very hot. Yes, it's very hot. Nice and tender, good flavor, lots of onion flavor. Now when you bake this on your own, you can add some things to it. A lot of times I'll fry up a bunch of onions and you can put that on top of it. Or you can put in mushrooms, a few cans of mushrooms or fresh mushrooms. We normally serve it with mashed potatoes. I think we're gonna have it with rice today. So try it. If you like the recipe, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Ed Foodie on YouTube for more recipes and restaurant reviews. Thank you very much. Okay, Catherine's gonna try.
Oh, this is very tender.
Yeah, oh, Mickey wants some.
Mickey.
Yeah, you don't even need a knife.
Yeah, I really don't need. Very good. Delicious. Tuzan. Thank you.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Cheers.
Cheers. French?
Good appetite.
Good.
Doesn't look good. that bad, huh?
Too hard.
Too hot.
No hard. It's tender. I cannot.
Too tough?